Okay, before we begin this section, if you would like to follow along and practice with me to get the most out of this course, I have prepared a practice file with all the data we will be working with. You can download it for free from the Google Drive link in the description below. Okay, from the description you are going to see a link that lead to Google Drive. You can download the practice file. Okay, all the files that I'm working with, you are going to access it there, so you can be able to follow along. I hope by following along with the actual file will make everything so much easier to understand. If you don't want to follow along, you can just sit back and watch as I guide you step by step. I also want to let you know that I have included timestamp for all the topics covered in this video. If there is a specific session you are interested in, feel free to jump straight to it using the timestamp in the description below. It is all laid out to make your viewing experience smoother. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you find this video helpful. Now let's get started. Hello viewers, welcome back to this course. In this session we are going to discuss about the cell basic in Excel. We are going to discuss everything you need to know about the cell in Excel. Whenever you work with Excel, you will enter information or content into cells. Cells are basic building block of a worksheet. You will need to learn the basic of cells and cell content to calculate, analyze, and organize data in Excel. Let me launch Excel. I'm going to open the blank workbook. Now we have a blank worksheet. Every worksheet is made up of thousands of rectangles. You can see these rectangular cells here. All these rectangles you are seeing, small rectangles you are seeing here. That is what we call cells. A cell is the intersection of a row and a column. In other words, it is where a row and column meet. When we were exploring the interface of Excel, I mentioned that columns are identified by letters. For example, you can see letter A, letter B. Okay, so you can see that each of these columns has a letter at the header part of the column, and that is the way of identifying the columns. While rows are identified by numbers, this is the rows. Okay, you have row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and so on. So the rows are identified by number. A singular rectangle here is known as a cell, and it has a name. It has a name or cell address based on its column and row. Since it is the intersection of column and row, the cell is named based on the column and the row which it is found. For example, the selected cell is in column B, row 2. As a result, the name is B2. That is how we name a cell. The selected cell is in column B, row 2. As a result, the name of this cell is cell B2. If you don't want to call it the name, you can say the cell address. The cell address of the selected cell is known as B2. Also note that the cell address appear in the name box. We have already discussed about the name box. This is the name box here. Okay, when you select a cell, the name will appear here. When you select a particular cell, the name will appear into the name box. Okay, and when you select a cell, you discover that the header, that is the column header, and also the row header will also be highlighted. If you look at the header of this selected cell, this is E, it is in column E. You can see that the column header of the selected cell is also highlighted, and you can see the row also highlighted to differentiate it from the unselected ones. If I select a random cell here, you can discover that this cell is in column N. You can see the header was selected and it is in row 18, is N18, and you can see the cell address here, okay, or the cell name. You can also select multiple cells at the same time. A group of cells is known as a cell range. Rather than a single address, you will refer to a cell range using the cell address of the first and the last cells in the cell range, separated by a column. What it simply means is that you can highlight multiple cells. Apart from selecting a single cell, you can highlight a multiple cells. And how do you select a multiple cell? All you need to do is to start from where you want to start highlighting. I start from here, then I click and drag around. Okay, as I'm dragging, it is highlighting a multiple cell. This highlighted cell is known as a cell range. Okay, this multiple cell that I highlighted like this is known as a cell range. And how do you name a cell range? To name a cell range, you start with the first selected cell, which is in B2, and the last selected one. You separate it with column, and then you append the last cell you selected. The last cell selected here is in H10. To name this selected cell, I will say that it is B2 ratio H10. Alright, B2 ratio H10. That is how to name it. You can see that we name it based on the first cell selected and the last cell selected. All you need to do is to separate each with a column. Okay, so you can name it like this: B2 ratio H10 or B2 through H10. Okay, this is because you selected from B2 through H10. You can select in any order. If I select like this, I guess you can name it. This is B1 ratio B17. You can see I started selecting from B1 and it ended in B17, so it should be B1 through B17 or B1 ratio B17. I can select like this as well. Can select like this. The highlighted cell now that I selected, it started from A4 through N4. I can say that the selected cell range is A4 ratio N4. A4 ratio N4. Okay, this is the selected cell range. Alright. So what you should notice is that to know the highlighted cell, you can see that is having a thick border. Any cell range you highlight like this, you can see a green border around it. That is how to select a cell range, and to name them. In the next video, we are going to start adding content into cell. Stay tuned. Hello viewers, welcome back to this session. Today we are going to discuss about the cell content. When we are talking about the cell content, we are referring to the type of data you can enter in a cell. Each of the cells you have in Excel enables you to store data. You actually organize your data in the cell, so you store the data in a cell. And each of these cells can contain different types of data. It can be a text, okay? It can be a date and time. You can store numbers, alright? You can store formulas. You can store functions. We have several functions we are going to discuss about, okay? So Excel cell can store functions that perform calculation or perform specific task, just like what I have here. You can see this is a function. This is the function that performs some operation. You can store formulas, that is your own custom formulas, okay? When we get to formulas, you are going to understand how to define your own custom formulas. You can also store monetary value, that is currency. You can store different types of currency. A number that is formatted as a currency, you can also store it. We have different data you can store in Excel. When we start entering data, you are going to see how to enter them and also store them. Alright, each of these cells you can also format it, okay? Just like how we formatted this data here, it can store the formatting, okay? You can also format the values that you enter into the cell. You can also format the background as well. Excel cell can store all these formatting features and make your work to look more beautiful. In the next lesson, we are going to start entering data in a cell so that you will see how to add data and also format it. Thank you. Hello viewers, welcome back to this lesson. We are going to learn how to enter data into a cell in Excel. To enter a data, all you need to do is to select the cell you want to enter the data. In this example, I select this cell. Now you can type directly into the cell. That means when you select a cell, you just type directly into it. Let's say I want to enter the ID number. I just type directly into the cell. Okay, I can select different cell and enter the name. Just type directly like this. Enter John like this. Select this one. I select this one. You can, if you don't want to type directly into the cell, while the cell is highlighted, you can go to the formula bar. This is the formula bar here. Then you can now type whatever you want to type into the cell. Let's say I type the last name, that is John Doe. As you can see, as I'm typing into the formula bar, as you can see, as I'm entering the name into the formula bar, it is also appearing in the cell that I selected. When you are done typing, you just press the enter key. Alright, selecting a cell, all you need to do is just to click on the cell. I select this cell. I want to type the date of birth, and just type the date. Just type the date of birth. If you are moving horizontally, when you press the tab key, it will go to the next cell, and if you hold down the shift and press the tab key, it will return to the previous. Just like this, you hold down the shift key and be typing the tab. If you do not hold the shift key, it will now go to the next cell in the horizontal order like this. For example, I want to type the mark. I select this cell. I can go to the formula bar and type the score. If I press tab, it will go to English like this. Then and type the score. Type the score like this, just like that. Okay, you can also click to highlight a cell, enter the value you want to enter. Then you click and select the cell you want to enter another value and type directly into the cell. Or you select the cell and go to the formula bar and type into the formula bar like this. That is how to enter data, guys. So any type of data you want to enter, that is how to enter it. You select the cell you want to enter the data, you go to the formula bar and type directly into the formula bar. While the cell is selected, it will show, or you just type directly into the cell that you selected and the data will be stored into it. Okay, and when you are done typing, remember to save your work. Okay, to save your work, if you have not saved it for the first time, you need to click on save and go to the location you want to save it. Okay, remember to save your work regularly as you are typing. Okay, so that if there is power failure, then you will not lose your work. Okay, let's finish the detail of the second person. Let me enter the date of birth. I enter the score of this person. I can type directly into here, into the cell. If I want to go down to the next cell, I just press enter. If the cell is selected, if I press the tab, it will move horizontally, but if you press enter, it will move down vertically like this. As I'm pressing enter, you can see it is highlighting in a vertical downward, but if I hold the shift, it will be moving up. Okay, if I hold shift, it will be moving up, just like that. Different ways of selecting as well. To me, the easiest way to select is just to click on that particular cell. Let's enter the score in English. Let me enter 85. You can try to add your own data. Okay, so I hope you can be able to enter data into Excel cell. Thank you for watching this section. Hello viewers, welcome back to this session. We are going to learn how to copy and paste cell content in Excel. To copy a cell content, that is the cell value, all you need to do is to select the cell that you want to copy something from. Then you select it like this. Then you can click on copy here. You can click on copy and it will be copied. You can see that it has a border. If you want to paste it, you select the cell you want to paste it. I select this cell. All you need to do is click on paste. You can see the value I have in this cell is now copied into this cell. You can also select multiple cell, that is cell range that you want to copy. Then you can click on copy or use the shortcut key, which is Ctrl C. I press Ctrl C. This selected cell range are now showing this border, okay, this dash border, that is to indicate that it has been copied. To paste this selected cell range, you select the cell you want to paste it and press Ctrl V. You can see now it is pasted in this cell and it has been added in that order we copied it from here, okay. So if I select this cell here and press Ctrl V, you can see now it started from the selected cell and paste the cell content into horizontal order, okay. If you copy a vertical content, it is going to be pasted in a vertical form. If you copy it in a horizontal order, just like this one, and you select a cell like this and paste it, it is going to be pasted in a horizontal order. If you select it horizontally like this, if I copy this cell now, this is a vertical cell now. If I select this cell here and paste it, you can see it is now pasted in a vertical form, okay. Excel is intelligent enough to dictate the order in which you copy content, okay. If you copy it in a vertical order, it is going to be pasted in vertical order starting from the cell you selected. You can also select multiple cells. For example, I can select the whole of this like this and press Ctrl C to copy it. If I want to start from here, I need to select the cell and paste it now. You can see that Excel has started the pasting from John here, from the selected cell, and paste it in that order. So that is how to copy and paste cell content, guys. Hello viewers, welcome back to this lesson. We are going to discuss about how to cut and paste cell content in Excel. Unlike copying and pasting, which duplicates cell content, cutting allows you to move content between cells. For example, if you select a cell that you want to move something from, you can click on this scissors icon, cut, okay. So the shortcut is Ctrl X, or you just right click and click and select cut. Now, just like a copy, you can see the cell is highlighted with a bold border. Select the cell you want to paste the content of this cell. You can use shortcut key Ctrl V, or you just click on paste here, or you right click on the cell and click paste. As you paste it, you can see now the name, this Mary, has been moved from this cell to this cell, okay. Likewise, if I select this cell and click cut and come here and press Ctrl V, you can see it moved the content of the cell to this cell. Alright, so when you are cutting content, you are actually moving it from a particular cell to a new cell. Likewise, if I highlight this and press Ctrl X, then come here and press Ctrl V, then it moves the content of this cell into this cell. If I highlight multiple cells like this, just like this cell range here, I can press Ctrl X to cut it, select this cell and paste it. You can see now it moved the content of the cell, these two cells, and it has placed it in that order, okay. So because they are in horizontal order, so it started from the first cell and moved to the next cell and paste the content in the order in which I copy it, okay, in the horizontal order. That is how to move content of a cell into another cell, or from one cell range to another cell range. Alright. Hello viewers, welcome back to this lesson. I'm going to show you how to drag and drop cell content. Instead of cutting, copying and pasting, you can drag and drop cells to move their content. To do that, all you need to do, for example, if I select this cell now, instead of using copy or cut, I can just move the content into where I wanted it to be. Alright, so to do that, make sure the cell that you want to move the content is highlighted. Then you move the pointer, you move this cursor to the border. When it change to this arrows, okay, when it change to this arrow like this, you click and drag it. You just click and drag the cell I have click and drag it. This is where I want it to be. I can now release my hand, and you can see it move the content of this cell to this place. I can select this cell, move the pointer, make sure you move the pointer to the border, and you can see it changed to arrow. It changed to this arrow like this. Then you click and hold the mouse and drag it to where you want it to be. You release your hand and you can see it is moving to that particular location. You can also select multiple cells like this, and just like that I can click and drag it just like this and move it back, and you can see now it move the content from this cell to this cell, both the selected cell range and also the single cell content. Okay, you can move both the cell range content and single cell content. It is very good if you have data you want to move from one location to another. You can decide to select the whole of this content here just like that and move it to this side here. You can see I have moved it from that location to this location. It is very handy when you have multiple data you want to move together. Alright, that is how to use the drag and drop method to move the content of a cell or cell range. Thank you. Hello viewers, welcome back to this lesson. I'm going to show you how to delete or clear cell content. To clear a cell content, all you need to do is select the cell you want to clear its content. Then under the editing here, under the home tab, you will see this editing group, and here you will see clear. Now click on clear, then you select clear content, and the content of that particular cell is now cleared. You can also select a cell range like this. Do the same thing and go to clear and select clear contents, and the content of the cell range has been cleared. You can also select a cell range like this and press the delete key on the keyboard and everything will be cleared. You can also use the backspace. By selecting the cell you want to clear its content, you press the backspace and the content will be clear, and that particular cell will be active for you to enter another data. For example, I can type 40 just like that. That is how to clear a cell or cell range content in Excel. Thank you. Hello viewers, welcome back to this lesson. We are going to see how to delete cells in Excel. There is an important difference between deleting the content of a cell and deleting the cell itself. If you delete the entire cell, the cell below it will shift to fill in the gaps and replace the deleted cells. For example, if you look at our example data we have here, this number 5 does not contain a complete information and I want to delete it. You can see below it we have number 6, okay, which is Rita, but this joy does not have complete information. We want to delete these cells, and to do that all you need to do is to select the cell range you want to delete. Okay, in this regard I select this one because we want to get rid of this joy because there is no complete data. To delete this selected cell range, all you need to do under the home tab, you will see cell group, then click on delete. Then under the delete, you are going to see delete cells. Click on it. Then you select the one that says shift cells up. What is going to happen is that the number 5 is going to be deleted from the list, and number 6 being Rita is going to replace number 5, and number 7 is going to replace number 6 in that order. Just see how the number 5 is going to be removed and number 6 is going to replace number 5. Let's click OK. And here we have it. You can see now the cells have been shifted up and number 6 is now replacing number 5. Alright, so that is how to delete a cell range or a cell in Excel. Thank you. Hello viewers, welcome back to this lesson. We are going to discuss how to use the fill handle in Excel. The fill handle is a good alternative to the copy and paste command that we have already discussed. Okay, the fill handle enables you to fill a content that is in particular cell to another cell or group of cells. For example, if you want to make use of the fill handle, you need to select the cell containing the content you want to use. In this case, I selected this one. Then you hover the mouse over the lower right corner of the cell so that the fill handle appears. Just like this, if you hover the mouse at this point here, the cursor changes to plus. If you now click and drag in the opposite direction, that is adjacent to the selected cell, it is going to fill the content to the cells that you highlighted. I'm going to drag down like this. As I'm dragging down, you can see the preview of that name Mark, and if I release my hand now, you can see that all these cells are now filled with a mark. It is now filled the content of the first cell into these cells. You can also fill it in a horizontal order. For example, if I highlight this cell now and move like this, you can see it fill the content within the selected cell range. You can also fill in any order. If I select this one and move like this, it also fill it in that order. So depending on how you want to fill the content. And one good thing about the fill handle is that it allows you to fill a series. What do I mean by filling a series? For example, let me just remove these numbers that I have here. I have number 1 here. Alright, if I use the fill handle now, I can be able to fill the content of this number in a series. To do that, all you need to do, you select the cell that you want to fill the content from. Then you drag just like this. As you are dragging, you are seeing the preview of 1, but when you mouse over this area here, if you click on it, the autofill option, then you are going to see fill series. This fill series is going to fill, because Excel is so intelligent that it dictated that it is a number. It will start from number 1 in a sequential order. Let me click fill series, and you can see now that it has filled it from number 1 to number 7. Alright, one good thing about this fill handle is that it is more than that. For example, this session, if I type the days of the week, like say I type Monday here, now if I use the fill handle now to drag down, okay, as I drag reach this place, let me release my hand, and now you can see that Excel is so intelligent to know that we started from Monday, then it filled the next cell with Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on to Sunday. Okay, so as you keep on filling, it is going to repeat starting from Monday again. Likewise, if you have a number, let's say I have a number here, let's say I enter 100 here, and if I use the autofill, like this, it is just copying the content. But when you use the fill series here, you just click fill series, and now Excel is going to number it from 100 to 106, so it knows that the next number is going to be 101. Likewise, if you have the months of the year, I can just type January here. Let's type January. As I type January now, let me use the fill handle here. So let me drag down. Do you see Excel is now giving the names of the month in order? If I release my hand now, you see that we have January, February, March. You can see that Excel is very intelligent and make your work so easy. Okay, imagine you want to type from the January to December, you can just use the autofill. Okay, just like I said, it is more than just the autofill. You can do more than that. For example, if I type 5 here now and type 10 here, Okay, now if I select both of these cells, you can see that I select these two cells, 5 and 10. I selected the cell range. Now I'm going to use the auto fill to drag down. You see what is happening now. Do you see that Excel is so intelligent to know that I'm counting in the step of 5? Okay, so I started from 5, I entered 10. So using the auto fill, when I highlight both of these cells, Excel is now giving the next as 15, 20. That is, it is counting in that order. Likewise, you can also copy formatting. Okay, what I mean by copying formatting, let's say I select this cell, I add this color, I select this cell, I add another different color, let's say this color. Now if I highlight both of these cells now and move it down, okay, do you see Excel is so intelligent to know that, okay, I'm moving this color. After this green color, I get this pink color. It is now giving me the color in that order. So with this fill handle, you can do more than just copying a content of a particular cell or duplicating content. You can do more than that. Okay, let me show you another way of using the fill handle. Okay, let's say I want to get the total score of each student, that is maths and English, the total score. I'm going to use the sum function to get it. If you don't know about function, you don't need to bother yourself because there is a dedicated section for functions. Okay, so I'm just illustrating the fill handle for you so that you understand everything better. I select this cell. I'm going to type equals to sum. I'm going to select this cell range here, close the function and press enter. Do you see it added the 50 and 70 and it get for the first person? Now you can use the fill handle just like that to get the rest. If I now move like this, it is now using the sum to get the total score for each of the student. Okay, apart from that, let me quickly undo it. Now if you don't want to just drag like this, you can also just click here at the corner here. When it changed to plus, you double click. Do you see that it automatically get the total score of each of the student? Excel is so intelligent enough to know where the content ended. You can see the list ended here, and that is exactly where it ended. Even though we just double click on it, it autofill, and it is very good when you have a large data set that you don't want to be dragging down. Okay, you can just use the autofill handle to get your content. Okay, I hope with these examples and illustration you can be able to use the autofill the content of a cell. Thank you for watching.